there was a 50th anniversary of liberation of concentration camp Bergen-Belsen, which was in 1995. 1,500 survivors came to Bergen-Belsen. Then I went there every 5 years to the 55th, to 60th, 65th, 70th anniversary. The number of people participating was less and less. This past September was not a round anniversary, but it was because of the COVID pandemics, but it was a replacement of something 2 years earlier. Imagine that from this 1,500, there were only 50 people. 50 people left. But before there were buses and police and military organizing, and now there were 50 people left. Slovakia was, for me, a good place to be at those years after the World War II. But certainly, I realized that culturally and for my future, I get much more from Prague. But also, in Prague, I developed sense of not being satisfied with the conditions which are in the socialist countries. So it was culturally a place where you could very well resist brainwashing. You could meet intelligent people, get good education, and then to make the right decisions whether you want to stay or want to leave. No country disappeared by emigration. Always there is the majority of people who stay behind. But America probably is one of the countries which learned how it is if people from poor European or whatever conditions arrive to a well-organized place. And I think that this happened also to me. So now, a little bit more systematically, I moved to Prague in 1949. At that time, I was 12 years old. I was highly interested in chemistry, physics, and mathematics. In mathematics, I was very good already during the years of persecution when my mother was teaching me to read and write and count. And maybe I want to point out things which maybe people in their optimal milieu never realize, that as long as, let's say it in this way, to be thirsty cannot be thirst cannot be suppressed, but hunger can be suppressed. And if you learn while you are hungry, suddenly you realize that you don't feel to be hungry. And my mother was very good with me. She taught me to count, to learn prime numbers even at this age. And finally, I loved mathematics. And later, when I came to Prague, I specialized in physics and in chemistry. I studied at the university. And then came a moment when I had the opportunity to leave the country illegally, better to say, with a valid passport, but without any permission to leave. And then we settled at various places. And finally, we ended up in Basel, Switzerland, where I became the founding member of a new institute, which was financed by a pharmaceutical company, Hoffmann La Roche, and the institute's name was Basel Institute for Immunology, which was founded 1969 and terminated 2002 at my age of 65 when I retired. The institute was wonderful. We did a very good work. In the institute, there were, during those years, 3 Nobel Prizes. The founding director, Niels Jerne, a Dane, received Nobel Prize 1984. And then further, 2 Nobel Prizes continued. During all this time, from liberation until roughly 1988, we never talked about Holocaust. I realized that there were some people who did talk about Holocaust, some did not. We belong to that group who did not talk about Holocaust. So in fact, I did my career without ever mentioning concentration camp, Holocaust. And even now, I am saying that there are 2 things when I'm asked to talk. One is that what is my dear profession is immunology, and another one, which is my unfortunate fate, and that is Holocaust. So these are the 2 items which I relate to. I love to read still about immunology, but now when the more knowledgeable generation of Holocaust survivors is gone, my mother died 1994 as a 90 years old woman. So, and that is already more than 25 years ago. So I realized that the original group is gone, and I am much less knowledgeable than anybody else from the previous generation. But I am asked now to talk to people, like I was asked now to talk to you. And I do it because I feel that is the right thing to do so, to talk. Holocaust is unique, but genocide is very similar to Holocaust. If we ask what is the difference, it would take hours, but there is one institution in Germany, in Bad Arolsen, when they have the file cards of the victims of Holocaust, and there is a shelf space of 50 kilometers of cards, of documents, and that's all about Holocaust. That is so unique that one only hope that this will never occur again. There is a group of survivors in Switzerland, which is a so-called contact group of Holocaust survivors, and we have published our memoirs, 15 volumes. They appeared in German and in French and in Czech, but were not yet translated into English, but I hope that they will be. So that's all. Thank you very much.